and regulations. What are the general standards? First is the audit shall be performed by a person possessed with adequate technical training and proficiency as auditor. And then, in all matters relating to the audit work, the auditor shall maintain a complete independence, impartiality, and objectivity, and shall avoid any possible compromise of his independence or any act which may create a presumption of lack of independence or the possibility of undue influence in the performance of his duties. And then, the auditor shall also exercise due professional care and be guided by applicable laws, regulations, and the generally accepted principles of accounting in the performance of audit work, as well as the preparation of audit and financial reports. Examinations and evaluation standards. The audit work shall be adequately planned and assistance shall be properly supervised. A review shall be made of compliance with legal and regulatory requirements. And an evaluation shall be made of the system of internal control and related administrative practices to determine the extent they can be relied upon to ensure compliance with laws and regulations and to provide for efficient, economical, and effective operations. And then, reporting standards. Audit reports shall be dated, signed manually, and shall be issued and distributed in the manner provided by the regulations of the commissions. Audit reports shall contain basically the transmittal statement, scope and objectives of the audit and time period examined, highlights, financial information, findings, recommendations, and conclusions. Audit reports also shall meet the following reporting criteria. First is factual matter must be accurately, completely, and fairly presented. Findings must be presented objectively, and findings must be adequately supported by evidence in the audit working papers. Reports must be concise. Information on underlying causes of problems must be included. And then, audit reports shall put primary emphasis on improvement and explain issues and questions needing for further study, include recognition of noteworthy accomplishments, include recognition of the views of responsible officials of the agency audited, state whether any significant pertinent information has been omitted. And then, audit reports accompanying financial reports shall state whether the audit was made in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards, express the auditor's opinions with respect, identify any matter to which he takes exception, contain appropriate supplementary explanatory information about the contents of the financial report, and explain violations of legal or other regulatory requirements, including instances of non-compliance. What are the audit objectives? Determination of audit procedures. In the determination of auditing procedures and techniques to be followed and extent of examination of vouchers and other documents by government auditors, the Commission shall give due regard to generally accepted principles of auditing and accounting organizations and systems, including consideration of the effectiveness of internal control and related administrative practices of the audited agencies. Audit of liabilities. In his audit of liabilities, the auditor shall seek to establish that all obligations of the agency have been accurately recorded. Only bona fide obligations of the agency have been included. The obligations incurred are properly authorized. All provisions of trust, indentures, or mortgages are complied with, and mortgages and other encumbrances are fully disclosed. Audit of revenue accounts. The audit of expense accounts, the audit of surplus or net worth, and then in this chapter 3, we have the receipt and disposition of funds and property. Under section 63, the accounting for monies and property received by public officials, and then section 64, the designation of collecting officers for government agencies, accrual of income to unappropriated surplus of the general fund, and Section 66, special fiduciary and trust funds, warrants and checks, receivables in payments for taxes or other indebtedness or the government, issuance of official receipt, deposit of monies in the treasury, and acknowledgement of receipt for funds, creditors, unclaimed balance, shipment of government funds or property by courier, notation of evidence of loss, credit for loss occurring in transit or due to casualty or force majeure, and then monthly reports of the depositories to agency head. For the government, we have the Section 75, the transfer of funds from one officer to another. Section 76, the transfer of property between government agencies. The invoice receipt upon transfer of funds or property. Disposition of funds or property held by deceased, incapacitated, absconding, or superseded accountable officer. The destruction or sale of unserviceable property, financial report of accountable officers, the auditor's certificate of balance, auditor's notice to accountable officer of balance shown upon settlement. And for Section 82, auditor's notice to accountable officer of balance shown upon settlement, the application of appropriated funds under Section 84, it is the disbursement of government funds, and then the appropriation before entering into contract, the certificate showing appropriation to meet contract, void contract, and liability of officer, and then application of appropriated funds under Section 88 is the prohibition against advance payment on government contracts, limitations on cash advance, payment of rewards, payment to creditors, and persons authorized to draw warrants or checks for payment out of government funds to whom warrants or checks payable, countersigning of warrants or checks by auditor, treasurer's responsibility for endorsement, payment of loss or fraudulently encashed treasury warrants or checks, the disposition of stale warrants or checks, reversion of unliquidated balances of accounts payable, transfer of unexpended balances to the general fund, reports of disbursing officers in government agency. And then for the government of accounting, these are the basic principles and objectives. Section 109, definition, the government accounting encompasses the process of analyzing, recording, classifying, summarizing, and communicating all transactions involving the receipt and disposition of government funds and property, and interpreting the results thereof. What are the objectives of government accounting? The government accounting shall aim to produce information concerning past operations and present conditions, provide a basis for guidance for future operations, and also provide for control of the acts of the public bodies and officers in the receipt, disposition, and utilization of funds and property. Report on the financial position and the results of operations of government agencies for the information of all persons concerned. Under accounts and accounting, the keeping of accounts, the accounts of an agency shall be kept in such detail as is necessary to meet the needs of the agency and at the same time be adequate to furnish the information needed by fiscal or control agencies of the government. The highest standards of honesty, objectivity, and consistency shall be observed in the keeping of accounts to safeguard against inaccurate or misleading information. Each government agency shall record its financial transactions and operations conformably with generally accepted accounting principles and in accordance with the pertinent laws and regulations. Each government agency shall record its financial transactions, and the charts of accounts for government agencies shall be prescribed by the Commission and shall be so designed as to permit agency heads. Section 114, the General Ledger. The government accounting system shall be on a double entry basis with the General Ledger in which all financial transactions are recorded. Subsidiary records shall be kept where necessary. The terminology and classification, a common terminology and classification shall be used consistently throughout the budget and the accounts and financial reports. The accounts classification under Section 116 is to permit effective budgetary control and to establish uniformity in financial reports. Accounts shall be classified in balanced fund groups. And for the budgetary control accounts, the general accounting system shall be or shall include budgetary control accounts for revenues, expenditures, and debt as provided by the PD number 1177. Section 118, accounting for unrealized revenues, estimated revenues which remain unrealized at the close of the fiscal year shall not be booked or credited to the unappropriated surplus or any other account. And then accounting for obligations and expenditures, all lawful expenditures and obligations incurred during the year shall be taken up in the accounts